Hey there, Jeff Manchester, Manchester Music. Welcome. As always, before we get started, come here. You gotta subscribe to the channel. You have to. Hit the bell, okay? Get notified. I know a lot of you guys watching are not subscribed. You're unsubscribed. So if you're here, just do it. Because, I make videos and maybe you'll like them. So subscribe, okay? Subscribe. Push back. The title, I know. It's a little clickbaity, but I wanted to clear a couple of things up that I've learned over the last, 3-4 years running this channel, maybe more than that, because I have learned a lot. I've also been getting some comments and some emails through Vodkastpodcaster at gmail.com. You can still reach me there, of course. Wondering where the sample library reviews have gone. And why it seems to be focused on plugins or monitors or microphones or what have you. So this is going to be a little free associated, so bear with me, but I'll make sure to have little chapters that hopefully correspond to everything that I'm talking about so that there's a bit of structure to the whole thing. The first thing I want to say is there's a couple of reasons that I've been posting less about the sample libraries and more about other stuff. I want to call it the first big reason. And to do this, I'm going to need the help of some graphics. So let's bring those up on screen. These are the top 10 videos that I have made in the course of this channel. And if you take a look carefully at some of the themes here, some of the videos, some of the themes that will emerge is that, the main theme is that the number one video there has nothing to do with sample libraries, has nothing to do with the creative effects that one might use in a sample library, or how to become a composer, or how much should you charge, any of that stuff. It's a video about a plugin called FabFilter Pro Q. And then if you keep going down, you really don't hit a sample library until you get to Noir at the very end by Native Instruments. And this is one of the things that I learned when I was doing the channel, especially at the start when I was kind of seeing what do people like, what do they not like, what are they engaging with, what are they sharing, what are they leaving comments on. You'll notice another video that's really popular there is about monitors and speakers, right? So I think that for me, if you're going to build a channel and if you're going to serve a community and entertain and provide content for those who just, sit back and receive and enjoy content, you should be focused on what people actually want to see, not so much what you want to do. I think it should be a trade-off. Obviously, I don't want to waste my time just making videos that nobody wants to watch, but I also don't want to waste my time making stuff that only, other people think is popular and deep down I hate doing. There has to be some kind of yin and yang there, some kind of synergy. And I find that the videos that I do about plugins or microphones or things like that, I really enjoy doing. So one of the main data points, one of the reasons why you've been seeing maybe less sample libraries is because they're not the most interesting or popular thing according to the people that I'm serving in this community. And so in a purely data-driven way, that's one justification for why we're not seeing a ton of sample library videos. I want to go for the second reason now, which is why we perhaps haven't seen that many sample library reviews. And that reason is they're really hard to do. They take a long time, for me at least. And for those who've been with the channel for a long time, you might have heard me railing against what I see as some laziness in the community and in the editorial community as well. Sample libraries are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 gigs big. They're deep. They used to be smaller, now they're huge. And so there's a lot to cover there. And there's a team of people who spend a long time putting microphones in front of people or player pianos, whatever. They take the time to sample, to learn, to get it right, to noise reduce, then to package in the UI, and then it goes to marketing. And I was seeing a lot of people in the community basically being given a Tesla, or a really slick car. And they would do a review, and the review would just be them kind of kicking the tires and pressing the buttons and, running their finger against the hood and seeing if there's any dust and then calling it a day and being like, yeah, this is the new Tesla. And I always felt like if you're going to be given this labor of love, take it out. Let's just torture the metaphor. Take it for a drive in the rain, in the snow, in, I don't know, sand and dirt. See how it handles. So what I would do when I would get a sample library is I would make a cue. And this takes time. It takes a lot of time, I think, to make something that is compelling and interesting and sounds good and represents the library. I don't believe in running through the patches. I don't believe in just opening it up and being like, let's discover it together. It's just not my style. But there's also a part of me that feels like the only person that really cares about putting together this sound on sound, I sit with it for a month and make a cue that might win an award and then show it to you. The only person that really cares about that is me. Because there's a lot of people who do the other way and they get a lot of views and credibility. And I've even seen sample library companies put like, this person gave us 5 stars when I would read the review and it would be really kind of wafer paper thin, not very in depth. And so far, I haven't really found a way to make a sample library review that's easy to make, but also feels substantive. One person who I think kills it is Daniel James, who was a huge inspiration to me when I first started this channel. That guy is an incredible drafter, better than I am. He's able to just sit with you for 90 minutes and live stream and be not just a great kind of musical person, but also he's extremely entertaining and connects with his audience on those live streams. And the live streams allow him to just get things out there, not really have to edit or put together a big kind of movie and then put it on YouTube, because he has other stuff to do, as we all do. So when you have a plugin or a microphone or a speaker, it's just there. You turn it on, you turn it off, you speak into it, you whatever. I mean, a plugin is great because it's maybe like, I don't know, way less, like 24 MB or something big, and then you play it up, try it on a couple things and move all the dials. There's documentation. It's much easier to get through that as a reviewer, as someone making content, than it is to go through an 80 gig sample library and then focus on like, is the true legato really realistic? And, I found the horn patches were good, but the piccolo, like, it's a lot, and it's not in my nature to really do it, in a kind of, half done, half baked kind of way. And so that was the other reason I really felt like I just couldn't sustain all of these sample library reviews. I think a third reason, for me anyway, that made it difficult to do sample library reviews in a consistent way is it was hard to get them. I mean, now it's a little easier. I just kind of cold call someone, and let's say, for example, orchestral tools have always been really wonderful to me. And there's a few other people out there, like the Symphobia guys and all that. They're really easy. Spitfire has never given me an NFR. And they're the guys that people, I think, really want me, at least wanted me to in the past, review. And so I still found a way to get them legally. Of course, I was on this mailing list for this kind of marketing company, and they were like an agency for Spitfire. So that kind of got me back on the bandwagon, right? Of like, reviewing them. But for a little while there, to get a plugin was easy. You just download the free trial, right? And then you have a plugin for 14 days. Or most of those guys are very kind, and I'll just send them my YouTube videos, and they'll go, you got like, 250,000 views on ProQ3. Let's see what you can do with, that was Valhalla, those guys, when they gave me their delay, or their reverb, vintage reverb. So the accessibility of these things is a little tough, especially the ones that people want. And so getting them and cold calling and all that stuff, it just got a little bit tedious. And so that's another kind of reason. The fourth reason is that this video, this channel, everything that I do here, the banner is Manchester music. It's not Manchester composing, Manchester sample libraries. I know that's kind of where we started, but life is non-linear. Okay. And I'm here now in Ottawa. I used to be in Toronto, and before that I was in a small apartment in Toronto, and I moved around and all that stuff. Like, life just changes. And truth be told, I haven't been composing a whole lot. I'm going to be composing soon for a documentary series, which I'm really excited about. I was just nominated last night. I didn't win, but for a Rosie for the Ampias in Alberta. So it's still a part of my life, but it's not as big a part of my life as it used to be. I have a full-time job. I have I try to have a social life, and so it's tough to commit the time to do sample library stuff when music and composing isn't my main bread and butter anymore. It reminds me a little bit of Twin Peaks. I love Twin Peaks and David Lynch, and one of the things that he said, he was expressing disappointment once you find out who kills Laura Palmer. A lot of people lost interest in the show. I'm not saying that's happened here with this channel, but a lot of people lost interest in the show, and he was like, the show wasn't called Who Killed Laura Palmer. It was called Twin Peaks. I had more stories to tell about the people and all that stuff. And that's kind of how I feel about the channel. I have more things to say about stuff that isn't just composing and sample libraries. In fact, one might argue that I'm more comfortable talking about mixing and mastering and repair than I am composing. If it isn't a secret, I don't read music very well. It takes me a long time to write stuff, and that's why I never do stuff live, or I never draft like Daniel James, is because if you heard me play, it'd bring you to tears, just kind of tinkering and figuring stuff out. So when you combine all those reasons together, I'd like to make a case that I want you guys to stay, to be a part of this channel, for not just the sample libraries and stuff, but for the other stuff, the life stuff, the vodcast stuff, the mixing, the mastering, the plugins. I really enjoy all kind of aspects of the creative endeavors of making music. And I also think, and this isn't we're kind of out of the reasons now, but I think that the more you know how to do in this industry, the more eligible you are to go off and do stuff that you really like and really want to do. And it might even get your curiosity going in another direction. And because you were open to learning new things about maybe fixing music, or maybe mixing it or mastering it, or maybe helping someone produce it and sound their best, maybe that's a good thing for you to see and a good influence for you to see, because it certainly helped me get in the room and stay in the room, knowing how to do a bunch of other stuff. So I'm curious. I really want to know how this lands with people. I'm still open to sample library reviews. It is a little tough to get them because I've been out of it for a little while, and my complete control keyboard is still in a closet after moving here. I haven't had to compose anything, so it's still there. But I will have to break it out for the documentary series that I'm working on, and perhaps I'll do a video series on that with the permission of the crew and everything like that, to be showing off stuff before it gets to a festival or whatever. But how does this land with you guys? Does this make sense? Can you sympathize with it? I really want to know. And also, I know I say this a lot, but I'd like to know what you want to see more of on the channel. I can't always accommodate every request, but I do try. And some of the things, the videos that I've done, Decapitator, that was someone requesting it, for example. So anyway, I feel like we should wrap it up and leave it there. I don't have a call to action beyond just leaving some comments, telling me how this lands with you. And also, if you're a long time fan of this channel, I'm wondering what your trajectory has been. I know my very first subscriber, I reached out to them because I was so happy, is Alex M. I don't know if they still subscribe to this channel anymore, but I'm wondering if your trajectory when you started this channel, which I think was primarily about composing, has that changed? And have any of the videos that I've done since branching out from sample libraries, has that helped at all? What's your own kind of half-decade path been since starting this channel? I'm really curious to know. So anyway, we'll leave it there. As ever, thank you so much for watching over the years. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not gonna, I'm actually trying actively to produce and create more videos, so you guys have something to watch, and I have something to upload and all that stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. See you later.